Hello everyone, we meet again in session 2, Site Spaces. Site Spaces, as part of topic from the book Landscape Architecture, discusses many things. But for this course, I will only explaining about definition of volumes, which is breakdown into the base plane, overhead plane, and vertical plane. I picked this because site volume is the important part of how you can make certain landscape elements as part to define a space or volume. If you ever know about a book entitled Form, Space, and Order by Francis Ching, you will certainly learn about form defining space, the horizontal elements defining space, and the vertical elements defining space. Every space that we perceive in three dimensions always be defined by these three elements, which in architectural terms commonly known as a floor for the base plane, a wall for the vertical plane, and a ceiling or roof as the overhead plane. And if you examine this picture, you will notice a combination of the three elements for defining space: a pavement base for the pedestrian circulation path, a series of vertical lights, maybe with the palm trees, act as vertical plane, trying to frame our view of sight, and the design of canopy from the light pole as overhead plane. But not all three elements have to be part of exterior space architecture. It can be a combination of two. This picture confirms the previous statement that exterior architecture not always have to be consists of three elements of defining volumes. If you watch carefully, the grass can be both a base plane if the role as ground cover, but it can be put as a overhead plane if you are underneath it. It's some kind like Hobbit's house, isn't it? The roof is a green roof, and the water, the pool, act as a base plane. Trees surrounding the pool as a vertical plane. The base plane is the plane of use. The base plane uses can be suggested by differentiation of surface materials, for example lawn, planting, bituminous concrete, gravel, and etc. And the base plane uses can be defined by delineation. Sometimes is distinguished with two different surface materials, such as parking lot and tennis court. You can see it in the lower left picture. But a chalk drawing can be used as a delineation that is for hopscotch play. A base plane can be used to establish a volumetric area by differentiating the materials from its surrounding so the human activity inside are bordered. The base plane usage can be expressed by the design of its size, shape, and texture. Base surface also could range from fluid to rigid, with the sectional illustration shows from shore to dry land, from water into sand, and then vegetation and paving, wood deck, and in permanent material like structural slab. This is an important slide to show you how important surface drainage as an example of base plane usage. There can be several scenarios for surface drainage. The first one is central drainage inlet. The fall is computed from the vantage points. Second, the surface area can be divided into smaller sub-area. Third, the paved surface may be warped or tilted to conduct runoff to a gutter or outfall at one or more sites. This one you acknowledge at the Masjid Manarul Ilmi parking lot. And fourth, the base plane surface drainage can be designed in modular unit, a covered grid with inlet that can be used as paving patterns also. This is the various functions of the base plane. In upper left picture, base plane of water that function as a softened hard surface, making it look more friendly for our eyes. or a base plane that combines permanent surface with water fountain as public amenity space. A mix between liquid, medium, and hard surface could form a very attractive base plane as shown in the lower left picture. A base plane can also blend into the environment with some natural materials, gravel and lawn, but distinguished by the circle form design. The overhead dividing space, can be in various forms as shown in this illustration. The form, height, pattern, density, solidity, translucence, reflectivity, sound absorbance, texture, color, symbolism, and degree of overhead enclosure all have a tanning effect on the spatial quality. When the sky is not suitable as a ceiling, we can thrive overhead controls. The form, character, height, and extent of overhead enclosures will have a telling effect on the character of the volume they help to define. On the right picture, the new overhead plane may be as light as translucent fabric or foliage. It may be as solid as beams, plank, or reinforced concrete. It may be perforated, pierced, or louvered. If solid, it controls not only the sun and rain, but also, by its degree of translucence or limit of overhang, the amount and quality of light. These are the examples of overhead sunscreen. Each example have their own design intention. Can you tell what the difference is? The vertical element are the space dividers. Screens, baffle, and backdrops. Of the three volumetric planes, the vertical is the most apparent and the easiest to control. It also has the important function in the creation of outdoor spaces. The verticals contain and articulate the use area and may tightly control and enclose them, as with masonry walls, or more loosely define them, as with vegetation. The degree and quality of enclosure has meaning only in relation to the function of a given space. Enclosure is desirable when privacy is desired. In general, it may be stated that when interest is to be directed to an object within a given area, the elements of containment must focus attention inward, such as shown in the left picture. Vertical planes provide not only containment, screen, and backdrop, but often become the dominant spatial feature as well. Other vertical elements may include furniture set about on the base plane. As you can see in the right picture, the vertical element could act like a edging, stand, seat, safety barrier, and also as a wall for enclosure for privacy. The vertical plane can also be used for several purposes. It can be designed to incise the ground plane, can be act as vertical articulation, meaning that verticals reinforce and explain the traffic and use patterns of the base plane, and even can be used as vertical object to form spaces within spaces. This is the end of session 2.